a little bit. And I think Golden State will get by this series, but I think it's going to be long. And I think eventually, Stevie, Winnie, they're going to get a little worn out. You know, got a bad thumb. He's 33, 34 years of age. Butler's no spring chicken. They're going to get worn out as this series and this postseason moves along. I think they'll beat the Rockets, probably take 7 games. But I think at the end of the day, not enough firepower in my eyes, from what I've seen, to go out there and expect them to win, to get to a final in the West, 8 games.
Wendy, real quick, to piggyback on your point, it's the second time in 30 years that a 7 seed is favored over a 2.
Wow.
Yeah,
Even I'm surprised at that.
Let me just say this. In this particular Western Conference playoffs, other than what this 1-8 match will be, which is probably going to be Grizzlies and Thunder, the seeds don't matter. You know, they matter because Houston gets home court, but 2-7, 3-6, the separation between these teams is very narrow. So I appreciate you saying that, Molly. It's a good factoid. I don't think it's applicable. The Warriors are not a 7 seed. But one thing I am worried about, on Sunday we saw Zubac with the Clippers get 17 rebounds. I think the Clippers had like 18 or 20 more rebounds than the Warriors. In this game last night, we see Zach Edey, 17 rebounds. They out-rebounded him again by 10 or 12. The Rockets can play huge. They have their own big giant guy in Steven Adams, and then Şengün, who's not humongous by NBA standards, but is a double-double machine. They're going to have issues with possession because they're going to play small. The other thing is, it's an advantage in the first round, guys, because there's all these extra days, but they're going to need more than Jimmy and Steph. And they didn't get much last night. Moses Moody had some moments. Quentin Post, their rookie big man, had some moments. They didn't get a lot of production elsewhere. And Steve Kerr has made an interesting decision. He's abandoned Jonathan Kuminga, who is arguably the best athlete on this roster, okay? The Rockets are stocked with athletes. And Molly, you're exactly right. Their game plan, Ime Udoka's game plan, is to make this a 6 or 7 game series. You're going to want to wear Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry out with these bigs. Kuminga last night, I wasn't there, so I don't know. I'm not sure he had his uniform on. I'm not kidding. I think he didn't have his uniform top on because he had clearly been told he wasn't going to play. And Curry's gone back and forth with Kuminga for 4 years. But they're going to need more than just these 2 guys to beat this Rockets team. I promise you that.
Yes, they will need more than these 2 guys. There is no question about that. The Warriors will. Because Ime Udoka could coach his butt off. He's a coach. I think he's one of the elite coaches in the game of basketball. They clearly have a size and rebounding advantage, obviously. But come playoff time, especially when you're going up against the likes of a Steph Curry, you got to make shots. And can Houston do that when it really, really counts? I know Fred VanVleet is a champion. He could do that. I know that Dylan Brooks is a rough rider, and he's not scared of anything. And those are going to be factors. Jalen Green, we're going to see what you're going to do in a series like this. Amen Thompson, I love this young kid. I think he's a star in the making on both sides of the ball. He's just going to be special. I can see Houston winning a championship within the next couple of years. So that's how good I feel about this team. But in this particular series, here's what it comes down to for Golden State. Steph Curry, in 3 of the 5 games, played in 3 of the 5 games against Houston this year, averaged 16 points, 36% shooting, 30% from 3-point range. Is that going to continue? I don't think so. All right. Jonathan Kuminga, Steve Kerr, you sure you want to stick with that decision? Jonathan Kuminga is Golden State's leading scorer against the Rockets this year. 21.3 points a game. You may need him because of his athleticism and his ability to have success against Houston. You just never know. And then when I think about Golden State, I also think about the fact that there are no back-to-backs come playoff time. They're going to be able to rest. So because of that and their experience, I think that's why they have the edge. And I don't think I think this will be a long series, but in the end, I think they will prevail. And I think that they have the potential to beat the Los Angeles Lakers, assuming the Lakers beat Minnesota. Certainly you're going to say the Lakers are the favorites. Golden State can take them because they can play some defense, okay? They don't have the size, but they got a bunch of cats that can play some defense, and they have a few cats that are shot makers. They can beat the Lakers. So I just look at it from that standpoint. Yeah, they could get to the Western Conference Finals. They could do it.
All right, let's keep it rolling here, guys. We had another dominant performance, this one in Orlando. Cole Anthony came off the bench with 20.
An 87% chance to beat Golden State. You see this series against Houston expected to be much closer. The Western Conference playoffs are going to be unbelievable. And with that thought in mind, let's play a little game of What If with Wendy and Alan back for this. Windman, what if Anthony Edwards is the best player on the floor in the upcoming series between the T-Wolves and the Lakers. Then what?
Well, he's going to have to do it 4 times. If he does it 4 times, they're going to have a fighting chance. Look, the Wolves are a powerful team when they're playing their best. And Ant Edwards last year, when he played against Luka Doncic in the Western Conference Finals, wasn't at his best. I think he was a little fatigued from that series with the Nuggets. He never cracked 30 points in that series. Luka averaged over 30 points. That can't happen here. I know Luka has a different team, but Ant Edwards, especially against the Laker team that doesn't have great basket defense and doesn't have elite perimeter defense, Ant Edwards can take advantage in this series.
I will remind everyone that there was a moment in time when Minnesota beat Denver when we were talking about Anthony Edwards like he was the next one. Like this was about to become his league. And then the next series went the way Windy is talking about and all the rest of that. And so looking at it from the Lakers' perspective, you and I were talking about this earlier, it's interesting. What is the one reason why you would think the Lakers could win not only this series, but maybe some more after that?
They have the most stars. Stars win series. Stars win in the playoffs. And that's something that you can never forget. And in this series, that's the difference. Anthony Edwards could be the best player on the floor in every game. And it still won't matter because the Lakers still have the 2 other best players on the floor. And his supporting cast in Minnesota, Anthony Edwards I'm talking about, now they do have some good players. Obviously, what Jaden McDaniels is going to do, what Naz Reid's going to do, their 3-point shooting, that's all important. But it's still, the stars raise their level and raise their game in the postseason. These 2 guys have played great together. They have great chemistry. And all it's going to be about now is trying to match that and stop that. And good luck doing that 4 games.
You're 100% right. Jimmy Butler came to Golden State and said that Steph is Batman and I'm Robin. Luka comes in. To continue the analogy that we've had working all morning long, is this a Batman-Robin situation, Windy? I mean, LeBron James is not Robin under any circumstances, right? So how are we viewing that dynamic duo going into this postseason?
No, but one of the things that we've seen with LeBron is that since Luka arrived, LeBron's been able to conserve energy. So much of what LeBron has going on at this point in his career is picking his spots on when to press down the accelerator. And we've seen him be able to conserve energy and have really big fourth quarters repeatedly playing alongside Luka. And there's a couple of advantages for the Lakers in this series. One, they have home court. They're an elite home court team. That makes a real difference for them for whatever reason. The second thing is, in this series, they come in, Luka and LeBron have had 9 days off, and then it's the first round. It's spread out. There's a bunch of off days. That favors LeBron. When LeBron can be rested, he's a significantly more dangerous player at this point in his career.
Okay, let me go to another one here. We'll continue the game of what if. Alan, this one is for you. What if the Mavericks lose tonight against the Kings, which would end their season? Then what?
It means nothing. It means they get to move on from this nightmare of a finish of a season, and they have to now get healthy. And then we'll talk about the trade and everything else and continue to all the way into next season until they are finally whole again. I don't think it means a thing. I think that trade has already been over with. I do think, although Nico Harrison did talk to the media, they're going to have a bigger exit interview and have some give and take with the general population of the media so they can get all the answers and get it out of the way and move on.
Well, yesterday, to that point, Cindy, if we could